All right, you ready? I dug up 2 of the disturbing Reddit confessions on the internet for you. You know what to do. Like, sub, and let's go. A post from r/let's not meet posted 6 days ago by user throwaway_gradschool24. She thought she was being careful. I, 24 female, met my online gaming friend for the first time, and he brought printed photos of where I live. I'm a psychology grad student living in an apartment with roommates. For the past 3 years, I've had this friend Dev that I met through Discord gaming sessions. We'd play together a few times a week, share memes, vent about my grad school stress and his work drama. It felt like a genuine friendship, the kind where you actually look forward to logging on because you know they'll be there. About 2 weeks ago, Dev mentioned he had a work trip coming up to my city. He suggested we finally meet in person for coffee. I was excited, but also cautious. I deliberately kept my location vague when we talked about it, only mentioning I lived somewhere near campus. We agreed to meet at a coffee shop on campus grounds. The meeting started normal enough. Small talk about the weather, his flight, how weird it was to finally see each other after 3 years of voice chat and gaming sessions. We talked about the games we'd been playing, some mutual friends from Discord. Everything felt comfortable and natural. Then he reached into his bag and pulled out a manila folder. Inside were printed color photos. My apartment building from the street, the entrance showing the mailbox panel, my full legal name clearly visible on my assigned box, my parking spot with my car and license plate in sharp focus. I just sat there frozen. My brain couldn't process what I was looking at. Dev smiled and casually explained he'd found everything on Google Street View. He seemed almost proud of his detective work, like he was showing me a school project. He walked me through how he'd pieced it together from little things I'd mentioned over the years. I mumbled something about a forgotten class meeting and got out of there as fast as I could. 3 years of friendship weighed exactly as much as a manila folder. It was still sitting on the table when she walked away. She needed to know. She needed to understand how 3 years of what it felt like genuine friendship had led to a manila folder full of surveillance photos. My heart was pounding so hard I could hear it. I asked him how exactly he found all this. Dev seemed happy to explain. He'd cross-referenced things I'd mentioned over the years. Which side of campus, street parking or lot, which grocery stores. He used campus landmarks from Discord photos, then systematically searched Google Street View until he found my building. He zoomed in on the mailboxes to read my name. The more he talked, the worse it got. He kept using words like detective work and puzzle solving, like this was a fun hobby project instead of completely violating. I stood up and mumbled something about a forgotten class meeting. He looked disappointed, but didn't try to stop me. I walked to my car, forcing myself not to run. When I got back to the apartment, I told my roommate Maya everything. She went pale. Her first question was whether he knew our apartment number or just the building. Maya immediately started worrying about our safety. Should we tell the landlord? Should we call someone? What if he shows up? That night, I couldn't sleep. I opened Discord on my laptop and started scrolling back through 3 years of message history with Dev. I needed to understand how this happened. And that's when I started seeing the patterns I'd completely missed in real time. All those casual questions. Every single message had been a question. Every casual conversation had been data collection, and every answer had been filed away somewhere. The evidence was overwhelming, methodical, and comprehensive, and it had all been written in her own words, scattered across 3 years of chat logs. The questions had always been there. I spent the entire night going through our Discord history. I started documenting every single question that felt casual at the time, but now made me sick. Which side of campus do you live on? September 2023, during a raid. Street parking or lot? November 2023, when I complained about snow. Target or Whole Foods closer to you? January 2024, random conversation about groceries. Does your building have a doorman? March 2024, after I mentioned a package delivery. These questions were spread across months and years. Each one felt completely natural in the moment. We were friends talking about our lives, but when I laid them all out in a document, the pattern was undeniable. He'd systematically triangulated my exact location through what felt like innocent friendship. Every meme we shared, every gaming session, every time I vented about grad school stress, all of it had been cover for data collection. This morning, I took the printed photos Dev gave me to campus security. I explained the 3-year context. The officer's expression changed completely. He stopped treating it like a misunderstanding and started treating it like what it was. They took it seriously, filed a formal report, and told me to document everything. I can't trust my own memories of our friendship anymore. Everything that felt genuine has been poisoned. I'm a private investigator, and this behavior is textbook stalking escalation. Save everything. Document every interaction. Get a restraining order now before he shows up at your actual apartment. The fact that he printed them out is what gets me. Like he planned this whole intimidation display to show you he knows exactly where you live. This gave me chills. Did he explain how he supposedly found your building from Street View? Because that's not how any of that works. You can't identify specific units or parking spots from Street View alone. He kept insisting it was just Street View and some clever searching, but I've checked and there's absolutely no way. I never mentioned my apartment complex name, never posted photos with identifying backgrounds, never gave him more than north side of the city. I'm going back through our entire chat history now, and it's making me sick how many casual questions he asked over the years. He wasn't done. He contacted my roommate pretending to be campus security. Yesterday, Maya got a phone call from someone claiming to be campus security. The caller said they needed to verify our apartment number for a routine safety inspection following a report filed earlier this week. Maya's instincts kicked in. She hung up immediately and called the real campus security office using the number from their website. They confirmed no one from their department made that call. They had campus police trace the number. Prepaid phone, bought with cash, completely untraceable. But here's where this gets so much worse. After I posted my original story, I started getting private DMs from other women in our gaming Discord. 2 of them shared experiences that made my blood run cold. Dev befriended them for 2 to 3 years through gaming sessions, just like me. Both times he eventually showed up with printed photos of where they lived, building exteriors, parking spots, everything. They both filed restraining orders against him, one in Oregon, one in Texas. This is his established pattern. He targets women in gaming communities, spends years systematically data mining through what feels like genuine friendship, then materializes with physical proof he knows exactly where they live. Our entire Discord community just realized we've been harboring a serial stalker for years. Multiple women across multiple states, same playbook every single time. Campus security is now working directly with police and treating this as a multi-state stalking case. The folder was never about one person. This is exactly why I never agree to meet anyone from online gaming. Ever. The printed photos are what makes this so calculated and creepy. OP, please tell me you left immediately and blocked him on everything. This is terrifying. Seconding this hard. Block him everywhere, change your Discord username, and consider getting a new number if he has yours. Guys like this don't just give up when confronted. He vanished the moment the pattern went public. Campus police got involved as soon as the multi-state evidence came together, but within 24 hours of my update post going live, Dev deleted everything. Discord account, gone. Steam profile, vanished. Twitter, deleted. Every single social media presence erased before police could make contact. The other women from the gaming community confirmed this is exactly what he does when he gets caught. Disappear completely, wait, then start over somewhere else with a new identity. Maya and I broke our lease 2 days ago. We moved to a different apartment complex across town. Our new place doesn't show up on any public records yet, and I'm keeping it that way. I left the gaming community entirely. I can't be in those Discord servers anymore. Every username feels like a potential threat now. I don't know who else might have been watching, collecting, filing away casual answers to innocent questions. The violation wasn't just that he stalked me physically. It's that he weaponized 3 years of what I thought was genuine friendship. Every gaming session where we laughed together, every time I vented about grad school stress, every meme we shared, all of it was just data collection to him. Background noise while he built his file. That friendship-shaped hole in my life doesn't refill. I don't think it ever will. Please report this to campus security and local police. The printed photos show premeditation. Also tell your roommates and professors. Change your routine immediately. OP, the National Center for Victims of Crime has a stalking resource center with legal guides for multi-state cases. Given the Oregon and Texas restraining orders, you might qualify for federal stalking statutes. Document everything. I was a mod in that Discord server for 2 years and I feel sick that we didn't see this pattern. He was so normal in group chat. Never said anything creepy publicly. The private DM hunting happened completely under our radar. I'm so sorry. Good on you for moving and leaving that community. Trust your gut. Guys like this don't stop. They just get better at hiding. The fact that he had a system across multiple states means he's been doing this for years. Trust, once weaponized, leaves permanent scars. On to the next one. My yoga teacher can describe my dreams in perfect detail. Today I found the recordings. She shouldn't have known about the water. I'm 28 female, marketing coordinator. 6 weeks ago, I joined a small yoga studio 3 blocks from my apartment. Work had been crushing me, and my best friend Maya kept insisting I try yoga. The instructor, Diane, was in her late 40s with this calm presence that made the space feel safe. I loved her classes. For the first month, I went 3 times a week. After class last Thursday, Diane invited me for coffee next door. We'd chatted before, always brief. She knew I worked in marketing, lived alone nearby. We sat down with our lattes and she asked how I was sleeping. Better, actually, I said. She smiled, then leaned forward. Did the water clear up? I stared at her. What? The water, she repeated. In your dream last night. You were drowning in it, right? So murky you couldn't see your hands in front of your face. You kept trying to surface, but couldn't tell which way was up. My stomach dropped. That was my exact dream from the night before. The suffocating darkness, the panic, the disorientation. I'd woken up gasping at 3 a.m. and spent 20 minutes staring at my ceiling. I hadn't told anyone about it. Not Maya, not my coworkers, not a soul. How did you... My throat felt tight. Diane sipped her coffee. I'm intuitive with my students. You probably mentioned it and forgot. But I knew I hadn't. I knew with absolute certainty. I made some excuse and left. Maybe it was coincidence. Maybe I'd sleep-talked during Shavasana. But when I locked my door, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was deeply, horribly wrong. She would replay that conversation 100 times over the next week, searching for some clue she'd missed, some hint she'd accidentally dropped. And every time, Diane's smile would seem a little less warm, a little more knowing, like she was watching something behind the OP's shoulder that she couldn't see. She kept going back, even though the coffee shop conversation should have been the warning she needed to stop, to walk away, to find another studio on the other side of town. I didn't stop going to Diane's classes. I told myself it was coincidence, but it kept happening. Tuesday. You finally found your grandmother's ring, didn't you? In the blue velvet box. I dreamed that exact scenario the night before. The vivid cobalt blue, the relief of finding it. I'd never mentioned my grandmother to her. Thursday. The red door won't open until you're ready. A recurring nightmare about a crimson door I couldn't force open. The exact shade of red, the resistance against my palms. Sunday. The man with the briefcase finally spoke to you. He had in Saturday night's dream. I started documenting every incident, 5 times in 2 weeks. When I asked how she knew, Diane smiled. We have a deep soul connection. I'm intuitive with certain students. Your energy speaks to me. Last Friday, I met Maya for drinks and showed her my notes. This is creepy, Maya said. Switch studios, tomorrow. Maybe she really is intuitive. She knows your childhood home's layout? Yellow wallpaper, narrow hallway, squeaky floorboard in the middle? Diane had described my childhood home perfectly 2 days ago. A house I hadn't lived in since I was 12. Maya was right. This was wrong. But I felt drawn to it too. Like Diane understood me in a way nobody else could. I haven't slept well since. Every night I lie awake in my apartment, wondering if she's watching, if she can see into my head while I sleep, if she knows I'm terrified. She would replay the conversation with Maya 100 times over the next week, each time convincing herself a little less that this was normal, that this was safe, that Diane was just gifted. And every morning when she woke in her apartment, the first thought was always the same. Did she visit me last night? Was she watching me sleep? Does she know what I'm dreaming right now? She decided to test whether Diane was guessing or actually knew. I decided to test her. Monday morning, before class, I mentioned feeling troubled. When Diane asked why, I described an elaborate fake dream, me wandering through a library with purple walls, looking for a book with my name on it, finding it, but the pages were blank. She nodded sympathetically, but said nothing about it. That night, I had a real nightmare. My estranged mother was calling me, over and over, her voice on the phone saying my name. I woke up sweating. Tuesday at class, Diane approached me during setup. "Your mother's energy was heavy on you last night." I froze. "What?" "I could feel it. She's trying to reach you, isn't she?" I hadn't spoken to my mother in 3 years. I'd never mentioned her to Diane. Never. I went home and tore my apartment apart, checked every corner for cameras, hidden devices, anything. I found nothing. Wednesday, Diane invited me for tea at her place. I went, hoping for answers. She got uncomfortably personal, asked about the argument that ended my relationship with my mother, details about it, the exact words I'd said, the date, the location, things I'd never told anyone except Maya. "How do you know all this?" My voice shook. "Spirit guides you in ways you don't understand yet." I left immediately. Tomorrow I'm going to pretend to sleep during Shavasana, keep my eyes barely open. I need to see what she does when she thinks I'm unconscious. Something is very, very wrong. This is beyond creepy. Please tell me you filed a police report and got a restraining order. Those recordings are evidence of breaking and entering at minimum. Keep them backed up somewhere secure that your mom can't access. This is criminal. Did you ever give her your spare key, or did she somehow get a copy without you knowing? She had a full copy. When I first moved in, I told my mom where I kept my spare key for emergencies, under the mat outside my door. She must have taken it and had copies made for Diane. I found out Diane's been letting herself in 2 to 3 times a week for the past 4 months. The next day she would lie perfectly still on her mat, eyelids cracked just enough to see, and finally understand how Diane knew everything. 2 days later, she posted an update. I confronted her and discovered who hired her. I did it. During Savasana yesterday, I kept my eyes barely open. Diane moved around the room, placing eye pillows on students. When she reached me, I felt something else. Headphones, gently placed over my ears. Then I heard it. Whispered phrases in her voice. Fragments that matched my recent dreams, word for word. The blue velvet box. Your mother is calling. The red door won't open. After class, I followed her to the cafe next door. She left her phone unlocked on the table when she went to the bathroom. I opened it with shaking hands. There was a folder labeled Audio, Quiet Mind Searching. Dozens of files organized by date. I opened the one from 3 nights ago. The timestamp read 2:47 a.m. It was my voice, sleep-talking, mumbling about drowning in murky water, about not being able to see my hands. In the background, I heard the distinctive whir of my bedroom fan, the one that squeaks every 3rd rotation. Diane had been breaking into my apartment while I slept, recording me, for weeks. I photographed everything before she came back. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I know how she got in. I know who gave her the keys. I'm confronting her tomorrow. I'm a yoga instructor, and this makes me physically sick. We're supposed to create safe healing spaces. This is a complete violation of everything the practice stands for. The headphones during Shavasana? I would never trust guided meditation again. The whole time you think you're relaxing, and she's literally implanting suggestions? This genuinely sounds like something from a psychological thriller movie. I can't believe this happened in real life. Except it's somehow worse, because it's OP's actual mother orchestrating this. What kind of parent pays someone to violate their child's privacy like this instead of just talking to them? The confrontation would come sooner than she planned, and the truth would be worse than any nightmare she'd ever had. She walked into the studio the next morning with the screenshots on her phone. I showed Diane the photos, the audio files. the timestamps. Her face went white. "How long?" I demanded. She started crying. "Your mother hired me 4 months ago, before you ever walked into this studio." My mother. Of course it was her. "She gave me keys to your apartment. She said she just wanted to reconnect with you, to understand you better. She was paying me $500 a week to record you, to learn about your dreams, your fears. I swear I thought I was helping her rebuild a relationship with her daughter. By violating my privacy? By breaking into my home?" Diane nodded, sobbing. "I'm so sorry. I needed the money. The studio's been failing for years. I told myself it wasn't hurting you, that your mother just wanted to know you better." "She wanted control," I said. "She's always wanted control." I left and went straight home, tore my bedroom apart, found the voice recorder taped behind my headboard. 4 months of my most intimate moments recorded. My sleep talking, my nightmares, everything. I changed the locks that afternoon, filed a police report with the photos I'd taken, blocked my mother's number permanently, sent her one text. "I know what you did. Never contact me again." Diane's studio closed 2 weeks later. My mother tried calling from different numbers, sent letters saying she only wanted to understand me. I burned them all without reading past the first line. I started therapy to process the violation, found a new yoga studio across town where nobody knows my name or my dreams or my past. Maya asks if I'll ever forgive my mother. I won't. Some violations can't be healed with apologies or time. I sleep better now, knowing she can't reach me anymore. The nightmares have stopped. OP, check your entire apartment for other devices. If she had access once, she could have planted multiple recorders. Check inside vents, behind picture frames, everything. Your mother hired someone to break into your home and record you? That's not reconnecting, that's surveillance and control. I'm so sorry, OP. And that's the last story for today.